Hello and welcome back to another Shoutcast match brought to you by QualiaQQ. I'm going to be casting this 1 versus 1 between QualiaQQ, spawning as the red Zerg in the bottom right position, and we have Saraf spawning as the blue Zerg in the northern position. I did have to take down the Powder versus Thomas game. I believe Powder was said he was just messing around and didn't want that game casted, so he asked me to take that down. I did. And I will get these more replays casted. I did, for any of you who didn't watch that game, I did get my computer room and everything moved, set back up, so I've got my computer back on my desk. I'm not playing in my living room couch anymore, which is a little bit sad because, you know, it's kind of fun just to kick back, relax, put my feet up, watch TV, but means I'm just going to have to get a TV for my computer room now, so I can watch TV while playing and casting and all of that jazz. On a side note, anybody can send me replays, QualiaQQ at hotmail.com, and I will do my best to get those uploaded for you. You can also reach me on Twitter at QualiaQQ. Other than that, just leave comments on my channel. Let me know how you're liking my games, whether you want me to improve or not. And I did break 50 subscribers this weekend, which is amazing. I love my subscribers. You guys are amazing. And we'll keep it going from here. It looks like we do have some pretty standard plays so far from these players. No player has started a spawning pool yet, both choosing to fast expand. One is a 14 hatch, the other is on 13. And we will see how that affects this game. This looks like it was casted on, played on Tal'derim Alter. You can tell by these cool hexagonal type glowy patterns in the center of the map. But it doesn't look like either player has scouted each other yet, which is very interesting that they both decided to go hatch first, even though that, you know, it's a ZVZ. Typically you see a pool first build or ling speed builds instead of fast hatcheries like that. So that's really interesting why they both chose to do that. We do now have the spawning pool starting for both players as this game does get underway. I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is, like the other casters do, and get my own little overlay set up down here in this bottom right corner. I'll have to make one up and get it set up and ready to go, just so that way I don't have to worry about shrinking down this replay timer. And that way I can start the games just a little bit easier. Other than that, we do have some scouting going on. Both players haven't quite yet found each other. They do know where each other is, but they haven't actually seen in the base. Looks like this blue drone is heading back, so probably did scout that this was a hatch first build. Gas going up for Qualia, and just getting some queens down here in the blue base, which is up here actually, in Saraf's base. And what do we got going on? Ooh, 2 queens being built, so it looks like he's going to get ready to get that macro going. I have switched over to random play, and I'm quite enjoying it. I believe I would say Protoss right now is my weakest race. Zerg is probably like my middle race, and since I did play Terran before, I'm going to say Terran's probably my strongest race. Right now today I've just been messing around doing some 4v4s, learning some different build orders, practicing with the units and unit control just to kind of see what each race is kind of capable of, so it allows me to get some good insight for you guys, that I know what these races are capable of and what you can possibly see from these games. So far currently supply 28 to 32. We do have Saraf in the lead just a little bit, but it looks like Qualia is catching back up, and we do have some ling on ling engagement here, but it looks like these lings are going to take out these lings, which is something I was interested in when I was playing as Zerg. Is like the ling on ling battles, a lot of it comes down to how you micro your lings. Whoever can get their lings to surround first usually ends up winning those fights. Looks like we do have more lings in production as well as these queens. And there we go again, more ling on ling action. This time red's in the favorite. Spine crawler's going up, and it looks like these lings are forced to pull back. Ling speed on the way, and 14 Zerglings now in production. So it looks like Saraf is tired of these lings poking around. He's going to just squash those down as fast as he can. A Baneling nest now coming up for Qualia, so it looks like he's going to try and do some Banelings just to pop that down. Hitting the watchtowers, seeing what he can see with that. Doesn't look like he's going to catch vision of anything, but we do have a whole mass of lings moving out here. And I don't know if this Baneling nest will finish in time if he commits to this attack. It does have 30 seconds left on it, and then the time it takes to morph in those Banelings. So I don't know if that'll be ready in time, but it looks like it will be, as Saraf is just kind of scouting around the map and hasn't committed to any kind of attack yet. We do have more lings from Qualia heading back to his base. A Spine Crawler going up right now, so it looks like they're just trying to get some good defense going. It's very weird to see this as 2 base on 2 base. Usually it's a different story there as far as the battles go. 5 Banelings being morphed in right now, and you can do quite a bit of damage with Banelings. But another thing is the Zerg player can easily micro those Banelings just by sending 1 Zergling in at a time and pop a Baneling, send a Zergling in, pop a Baneling. And usually you can get about 3 or 4 Banelings before the other opponent figures out what you're doing. Alright, but it looks like if blue does commit to this, he's going to lose a lot of Zerglings, as these Banelings do so much damage to Zerglings. Alright, we do have Lair Tech now coming up for Qualia, so it looks like he's going to be getting ready to move up to the next tier, and we also have a Roach Warren going up for Qualia. Interesting enough, I don't often see... Oh, there goes the Banelings. 2 Banelings takes out that entire force of Zerglings. Now we've got more Zerglings in production from Saraf, but I don't think he's going to have enough Zerglings out in time. Roach Warren now going up. Back to what I was saying is, with Hive Tech, I don't really see too much Hive Tech in ZBZ games. Usually they stay on Lair Tech, mass up upgrades. The only time they ever get the Hive is when they're going for like +3/+3, but mainly just stay on Roach and Hydralisks. And we do now have Lair Tech coming up for Saraf, and we'll see what kind of Lair Tech that Qualia decides to get, since he got it first. I have seen Infestors start to be used in ZBZ, and it is amazing to watch, as Infestors do so much damage to roaches with the fungal growths. And it looks like that attack was repelled by Saraf. Very, very nice. Managed to get 1 Baneling in there to do a little bit of damage here. You see a lot of these drones are in the red. Could easily get another Baneling in there and pop off the rest of those drones. Either that or maybe like a Mutalisk or 2 just to fly in, pick off what they can, and fly away. But typically you don't see Mutalisks in ZVZ because it's basically whoever's got the most Mutalisk wins. We do have several Banelings, more Banelings being morphed in, and we'll see if these Banelings can roll in there and do some damage to those probes, or drones. Ha! Ooh, lots more Zerglings streaming across. It looks like we have Zergling, Baneling. Built that Roach Worm, but hasn't quite started producing any roaches yet. We do have the Baneling speed on its way now for Qualia, as he is getting those Zerglings in there. And a lot of roaches here at the door this time to confront him. And it looks like Banelings are just going to plow into the roaches instead of swinging around behind to the drone line, which would have been nice to see. Looks like, ooh, we do have a lot of those roaches did get taken out. More Banelings falling on the queens instead of, going in for this juicy mineral line right here, and still focusing down on that queen. Looks like he just wanted to pick off a queen and that army, which wasn't probably necessarily the best use of his units. Could have easily used the Zerglings to fight the army, and then just rolled the Banelings around and popped all these drones. There's so many drones right there. 24 drones plus 25 drones. That would have been so many to kill. Double Evo Chamber now going up for Qualia, who's starting to take a commanding lead of this game, setting the pace, but it looks like Saraf is able to hold on with these roaches now, getting the Galil reconstitution, so he'll have the roach speed. Don't see any evolution chambers up yet, so I don't think he'll be getting any upgrades. Infestation Pit and Hydralisk Den now going up, so it looks like he's going to be getting just a spray of units. Would definitely like to see him use those Infestors, which will stop down any of those units quite fast. But alas, not quite doing that yet. Weird, on the minimap it looks like these are blue units, but it's just the water down here underneath the trees. Very interesting. It looks like Qualia right now is just droning up. Looking at the unit counting station, we've got 51 drones to 54. Not many Zerglings, 16 Roach on 16 Roach and 2 Queens, so it looks like both these players are doing mirror type builds, getting the similar armies out. Would love to see some Infestors get used. Taking out these destructible rocks, looks like he's going to be getting ready to take his third. Taking out these rocks, looks like he's getting ready to take his third. So both these players definitely know what each other is doing. We do have the pathogen glands now coming up for Saraf, so it looks like he is going to be getting some of those Infestors out. One thing you can do is you start the Infestor when the pathogen gland's about halfway done. Looks like Qualia is also getting that pathogen gland as well. You start it when it's about halfway done. You start building your Infestor, so that way when they pop, they've got that extra energy. And we do now have some Infestors on the way for Saraf, as well as getting double Evo Chamber, +1 armor, +1 missile attacks is going up for Qualia. So this is definitely going to be an interesting game here in just a matter of minutes. We will have to see. Both players being passive right now, both players getting their hatcheries. The Red's hatchery is just a little bit ahead, but it looks like Blue's upgrades are just a little bit behind, so it's very interesting to see how each player manages to pull this off. Qualia is now getting 15 more roaches, so he might push out when that +1/+1 finishes, as they should finish it at about the same time. And it doesn't look like he's getting any infestors out, but with the infestors of Saraf, it looks like he would be able to hold this off. He can get some nice fungals off, stop this roach army dead in its tracks, and do some pretty significant damage, softening up their numbers. Spreading mass creep tumors here across the map as well, so he looks like he just wants to link those bases together. He also does have sight of these watchtowers, so he knows when Red is planning on moving out anytime. We do now have Hive Tech going up for Qualia, and we have Groove Spines coming up for Saraf, as well as getting an Overseer. And that third base is just